So, here are your answers. It was simply one violin unaccompanied. It's in a minor key. There are two beats per bar, or you, I guess, could have put four because you can never really tell two or four apart by just listening. And there were three separate sections. Each section had a first half repeated and a second half repeated, which is called binary form. Some of you will have known that this was written by Paganini. You can see him in the picture. He was an early 19th century superstar violinist, perhaps the first real virtuoso who made a virtue of the fact, or made part of his act, the fact that he could play better than anybody else. He would play the most fiendishly difficult music and pull stunts like breaking three of his strings and playing the end of his piece just on the bottom string. The rumour grew that to play so well he must be in league with the devil, something which he encouraged by growing his hair long and lank and using white makeup to make his face look like a skull. You heard the theme and the first two of 12 variations. So there are some real variations. And remember that tune. Even if you did not know the Paganini piece, the tune may have rung a bell with you. We will see why later. A minute ago we were looking at how we could change just a simple 4-beat clap by changing different musical elements. Here, giving you a moment to read it, is a list of the things that changed in the clapping. We can now add a load of stuff that can be changed when you bring in the melody and the harmony too. Here's a second list with a gap for you to look at it. I'll just explain a couple of those terms. Texture is related to how many instruments might be playing, and sometimes to which instruments. For instance, the sound of 6 violins in harmony is very different from the sound of just 3. Or an 8-note C major chord on a piano will have a different texture to a 3-note chord, even though both chords just consist of C, G and E. Inversion, of course, means turning a tune upside down. Just changing one of these elements can produce an interesting variation. Listen to this. That's just the national anthem, but in a minor key rather than a major. Nothing else has changed, and yet it's already rather different. The incongruity of it is also slightly amusing, which is definitely another trait of some variations. Now listen to what the eccentric American composer Charles Ives has done with the national anthem, though of course in the States it is known as God Save America, or just America. Here are two of his variations. Listen to what he's done to the tune each time. The first one uses harsh discords throughout and has half the orchestra playing in canon with the rest, i.e. starting a bar behind. The second is a bouncy 6/8 rhythm that sounds like a nursery rhyme or clown music from a circus.